Welcome back to the channel where we are building a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. Now, yesterday we started implementing some sound effects. So when we get hit, it makes those sound effects. So anytime we take damage, we take that hit sound. Anytime we have our active spell cast. And this is just, there's the cleanse sound effect. So, you know, the levels aren't right, obviously. The actual sound effects aren't right. They're just template placeholders. So what we're going to do is just kind of take a look at what we implemented yesterday for that. And then since our stream crashed yesterday, I'm going to sort of unapply all these sound effects and then talk through how to import sound effects and how to play them in order to get something like we see on screen here. And then hopefully people can follow along and kind of see how sound works in Love2d and Lua. So let's go see. I know we've got, in our dependencies, we've got a couple different sound effects. We've got death, spellcast, and cleanse. And then we're actually playing these sounds upon different things. So for our death, it would be when our player hearts are equal to 0. But I don't know exactly where we say that. We could say .health is equal to or smaller than 0, because I believe that is the line. Maybe not. You know, we should really comment death. And one other thing we gotta change is our health is 1 hit point per half heart. So that means with 7 full hearts, we've got 14 health points. And the geckos are currently at 150 health points, but our spells are doing 50. So it takes like 3 spell hits to cleanse a gecko, but it just rubs me the wrong way that it's like, you know, 150 times more health on the gecko than the player. So we'll probably take our gecko's health down and then take our damage output down as well. And then we'll see. So yeah, I do have some homework I've got to work on tonight, so I can't program too long. And I am just tired in general. But yeah, where are we doing where we die? Let me see our player class. We have a .dead, so let me search our .dead and see where we're doing it right here. So it's just in our play state update, we're updating our health. I don't think this makes a lot of sense. Should probably be in the player class, right? So what we can do, instead of having that in our play state, we're going to go to our player class and we'll just do it here. There's a lot of gunk in here. So might as well just put it up at the top. And we'll say that this is we'll comment it player death so that we can find it easier next time. And then we don't need a .player here. It's just our self.health. And let's see if we have a dead sound. So by the time we have no hearts left, we should play a little dead sound. Yeah. And it only plays once, so that's good. So we've got that death sound. I think that's everything. I mean, we need, there is a, whenever we do our spellcast sound effect, which is here, this is in our play state. This makes sense because our, either in our play state or our scene, our spellcast would make sense because it needs to be in the HUD. So Our temps are looking stable. I mean, we're still at 37 degrees Celsius, so I also changed the CPU encoder settings to be a faster profile, so it should be less taxing on the CPU. A little bit worse quality, but it should be a little bit faster. And homework's going good. Where I'm at, I think I have 3 or 4 more chapters to go before I'm done with this last required homework before it starts next week. But then there's some optional bonus work that I want to do. So I'm trying to finish this week's homework in the next day or two so that I can do that optional work before the orientation on Friday. But it's going good. I'm very lucky that I've got experience doing this kind of stuff already because I don't have to learn it from scratch. I just kind of get a refresher on it. Cool. And then ultimately, by the time we're dead, we don't want to be subtracting our health anymore. And we want to change into like a death sprite and then stop things from being able to collide with us and stop the AI from tracking us. So I'm going to add that to our list here. Add death sprite for player. And maybe have geckos return to start positions if player's dead. Cool. Okay, so all we've got are these 3 little sounds we're doing. We've got a hit, a spell cast, and a death sound. So what I want to do is go turn all of those things off, and then I'll walk through how to import sounds for Kane and then how to play them and all that stuff. And then I'll timestamp this video for me to know where to send Kane the timestamp for the video so he can see just how to do it. So let's go. We're going to turn off all of our sounds. So what we're going to do is first play our hurt sound and turn that off. Looks like we're doing it in 4 places here for each collision. So yeah, it's going to be a short episode today. I'm just not really feeling great. Starting to get a headache, so there's our hurt sound. Let's do our spellcast sound. And that's in our play state, okay? And then our death. That's in our player class. Cool. Okay. The next step is to go to our map declarations, actually our dependencies, and then we'll get we'll turn off. And actually what I will do is actually leave that out. And we'll just put our sounds right here. And then we're good to go. Okay, so I'm ready to start recording that little tutorial on how to do sound stuff. So let's get started. Let me just take a sip of water. Okay. All right. There you go. Yep. Let's do it. Let's do it. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Bro. Heck yeah, dude. Sevens ain't bad. Yeah, double your money. That's not bad. Okay, here I go. Alright, so this is going to be a short little tutorial on how to import sounds into a Love2d project and how to play them. And I'll use my game as a reference here so that we can tie it into events in-game so that you can see it working. So first of all, you're going to want to have your sound effects in your folder where you know you can access them. So we've got a sounds folder in our repo here, and we've got 4 different sounds. We've got a hurt, death, cleanse, and spellcast wave file here in our Tashio/sounds folder. So how sounds work is in Love2d, it can only play the same sound one at a time. So if you try to play it over and over and over, instead of playing it 60 times in that 1 second, it'll only play the sound if the sound is not already playing, if that makes sense. So you can put that in your main here if you want, your main function. What I'm going to do is put it in our dependencies, and our main requires our dependencies, so it's okay to put it in there. So I'll give an example here. So we know we've got a hurt sound. So what we're going to do, the way to access a sound is love.audio.newSource. So if you can remember that, you can remember how to import a sound file into Love2d. Love.audio.newSource. And the thing is, it takes in 2 arguments. So you give it parentheses there. Now the first argument is the file path as a string. So you give the single quotes there, or apostrophe, whatever you call it. You're going to give it the file path. So we're in our sounds folder, and we're trying to access our hurt.wave. So we're saying in a string sounds/hurt.wave. Now it takes in 2 arguments, so you separate with a comma, and it takes in a type of sound. So there's 2 types of sound in Love. There's either a static sound or a streaming sound. For our purposes, let's just say everything is static, because our stuff is so... and our stream just crashed. That's okay. Our stuff is so small file sizes that we can use static and just load it into memory, and then we can play it like that. So it's a static source. So 2 arguments. One is a static source. One is the first argument is a file path. Second argument is a type. So we're doing sorry, I'm trying to restart the stream here while I'm giving this little tutorial, but that's a bummer. So love.audio new source, you give it a file path, you give it a sound type, and then you can't just do this. You need to have a way to access this sound. So we do that by storing it in a variable. So we're going to have a variable called hurt, and we're going to store it. We're going to store that file inside the hurt variable. So what the assignment operator is, this is not a equal sign. This is a assignment operator in terms of programming. So what that does is takes the contents from the right, copies it into the contents in the left. So instead of saying equals, hurt equals love audio, in programming we would say like hurt gets love.audio, because it makes a little bit more sense because it's getting the value over here. So that's what that is. And I'm still trying to restart the stream here. It's a really big bummer. So this is all we have to do to import our sound. So how do we play our sound now that we've got it imported? I'll show you that as well. So what we'll do, all you have to do is take your sound file, do a colon, and play it. And you run the play function, which is these it's play and then these parentheses. So you say hurt : play, and that's how you play the hurt sound. So let's hear. Booyah. It played, and it played once, and that's it, because we only called it once. Now we could do a loop where we can play this infinitely, and Love has a way of doing that. So what you actually do is you take the sound variable you want. I don't know what they call it. If it's a drawable object, they call it drawables. I don't know what they call audio playables. But you take the playable, you do : for running a function on it, and the function is set looping. It has to be in camel case like this, and set looping takes in a parameter of true or false, and we're going to be set looping to true, and then we're going to play hurt. So what that has the effect of is looping our hurt sound. So this isn't quite what we want, right? We don't want to just randomly play hurt. We want to play hurt when we get hurt. So how would we do this? We would, instead of playing it here, we need to go into our game's logic, and this is the part that gets a little more complicated because it depends on what video game project you're working on and how they implement it in order to put this sound in the right spot. So for our case, we know when we lose our health, we need to play this hurt sound. Now, I already have a little placeholder, so I know where to find this. Because when we get hurt, if you look here, our player.health gets a player.health -1. That is our health decrement for when we get collided with an entity. So my code base is a little messy right now because it's a little weird that we're saying scene view.player top collides map object entity. How does that mean collides with a bad guy? Well, our scene view is what's holding all of our player data and our entity data. So we're saying that the player in our current scene is running this function, top collides map object. I admit that's a bad name for it because we're actually reusing the same function for our collidable map objects, but all you need to know is this is the line of code that we are needing to play our hurt sound, because this is where we're decrementing our health. So when we decrement our health for and we'll put it on right collides first. So we'll just say, you know what, hurt play right here, and just play it once. Don't do any looping, just play it when we right collide with an entity. So we'll do that. Dude, I crashed again. I don't know what's going on. So boom, right collision, we get that hurt sound. But if you look, if we bottom collide, we don't get those sounds. If we left collide, we don't get that sound. And if we top collide, we don't get that sound. Only when we right collide. So that's because of how we implemented this stuff. And we have to, I really don't know what to try, dude. I mean, I've got fast enough internet. I don't know what to try. I'm plugged in to the Ethernet, and I'm getting like on average 25 megabits upload speed. So that's plenty fast to do what I'm doing. I don't know what's the issue. So I really don't know. I know. It was flawless for weeks, and then it's just been crapping out on me lately. So it's a little frustrating. I might just reset the router every week on the week or something, and maybe that might help. But basically, we want to play this hurt sound everywhere, for each side of the collision. Now, I want to show you something. Instead of saying hurt isn't very descriptive. Hurt, is that animation? Is that an audio? I don't know what that is. So as far as the game's concerned, we want to declare these things a little bit smarter. So what we're going to do is, I've already done this where I'm taking a sounds table, and everything in Lua is just a table, which is just like data separated by, I wouldn't say separated by commas, but in this case it kind of is. So it's like a table is just different values. So the table syntax is just a curly brace like this. So this is a special kind of table. It's not just holding numbers. Like we can say that we have a table of 1, 2, 3, and that's a table. And then we could say, you know, hey, table, and we can't use table because that's a keyword, but we can say table test, and that's our table. And then what we can do is say like table test at our index with square brackets. That'll go into the first value of our table. So table test 1 will be this first one, not because it's the same value, same number, but because it's the first one. If this was 4 and this was 5 and this was 6, this is table 1, this is table 2, this is table 3. So this is like the simplest table you can get. But what we're doing here is not a table of just number values like this. What we're doing is it's almost like a dictionary, which is like a key value pair. So there's a thing called beep, and we give it with this square bracket notation. And we're saying, and we'll use this as the example, our hertz sound that we just made. We're doing this same exact logic here. love.audio.newSource, file path static. That's how you get the audio file. And you're going to assign it into the hert key into our sounds table. So what this allows us to do is instead of hert like this, we're actually putting it into a key, and that allows us to go into our sounds table. So we can go sound table at our index of hert, and then we go play, and it'll run just like it was, and as it crashes, because we're trying to play it before we actually had that file existing. So if we put it after, it'll know what it is, and now it plays that hert sound. So instead of just saying hert play, even though it's a little shorter, we have to do it. We don't have to do it. It's just a decision that I made to make it a little clearer. When I want to play a sound, I go into the sound table, and all of my stuff is right there. All of my sounds are in one spot. So that's how I've got it set. So if we go back to our hert sounds, what I can do is I'll turn these back on. So every collision, we're going to go play our hert sound. And we have to have 4 different collisions detections, because we have to know which way to get bounced. So depending on which side we collide with something, we have to bounce in appropriate direction. So that's why it's split up into 4 different functions like this. So now we've got our hert sounds where we're bouncing in the appropriate direction, and we play the sound on every different collision. So there's hert. Let's move on to our cleanse. So we've got cleanse in our sounds table already, so we don't even have to worry about it. We're going to go, I'm actually going to search for cleanse because I've already got it. But if you happen to know the code base, you know, and this is the hardest part of implementing this, is like, if you don't know where in the base I'm doing certain things, and I try to comment it like this, like cleanse, so that if I was in another file completely, I can search for just cleanse in all of my files, and I could see that there is a mention of cleanse in my entity walk state. You know, off the top of your head, you wouldn't. I mean, the entity walk state. If you know that my entity stuff is deferred to the state machine that they're in, then we would get cleansed when they're in pursuit mode, because they're pursuing our player. So if our entity's health is smaller than or equal to 0, we're going to go ahead and play our cleanse sound. So let's see what that sounds like. So we're going to hit him, and then he's cleansed. So it made that little cleanse sound, and then he walked away. Now we need to add the hert sound to our geckos getting hit too, right? Because when they get hurt, they need to make that sound too. So where do we do that? It would probably be in the and see, this is, I don't know if it's in the walk state or the entity class, but it would be something similar where we subtract the health, right? So it's like entity knockback for spell collisions. This is where it is. This is where we're actually taking our health away. So this is where we're going to want to put in that hurt sound. So we're going to say sounds at index hurt. We're going to run the play function on that bad boy. And then now our geckos should be hurt every time. Booyah. Cool. So this is like, you could start to see the basics of how, these aren't great sounds, but you could see how it starts to add a little bit of oomph to it. And it's really not that hard. The hardest part is knowing where in the code base to implement these things. Now there's other things, like you can set the gain of the volume. You can, I don't know how much sound effects there are, but there are little things like you can set looping, you could set the volume. I'm not sure what else, but we can look some up on Love2d documentation to see some more. But let's keep going. We've got cleanse, we've got hurt, we need death. So let's go see where we do our player death right here. So if our player's health is smaller than or equal to 0 and we're not already dead, we're going to go ahead and play. Now if we didn't ask also and not dead, then it would play over and over and over because we have less than 0 health. But what we're trying to do is only play this sound once. So we're saying, hey, if our health is 0 and we're not already dead, go ahead, play the sound and become dead. And then the next time, in the next frame, we're already dead, so this one won't execute. So we will only play it once upon a death. So let's see if our death sound is in there. So let's go get killed. Cool. Now, I mean, we're obviously not dead still, but it plays the death sound when it's supposed to. We still need to implement us actually dying, but the sound is there. Now, the last sound is our spellcast, so let's see where that might be. Spellcast. See, we use the word spellcast in a lot of places, so I think the move is to search like this, and then we'll find right here. So in our play state is where we have our focus indicator X. That is the output of our focus, the little white bar that goes into the, hey, what's up, SkyTech? How you doing, man? Good to see ya. We're just working on a couple like template placeholder sound effects. So we've got, we've got the spellcast sound effect, we've got the cleansing gecko sound effect, we got getting hurt sound effect, and then we've got death. It's just a couple of template or placeholder sound effects so that we can have a little something before our sound designer comes in and helps us out. But those are the four sounds we've got, our 4 placeholder sounds. So that is good for, that is like the end of this little tutorial here for how to import and play sounds on certain situations. So I hope this helps you, Kane. I hope this gives you a little idea how to do something like this in Love2d, and see it's really not that bad. And if you want, the overview is very simple. It's like love.audio new source, right? That's the big thing. Love.audio new source. It takes in a file path to the file name, takes in a type of file, which for our case is just always going to be static for now at least. And then you have to assign it into a variable in order to be able to play it. And then once you have that variable, all you got to do is access it. So you go, in this case, sound at hurt, and then the the thing to know is that it is a function called play, and it's as simple as that. So it's super easy. I hope that demystifies it a little for you, and that you feel confident in maybe trying to start playing around with simple projects like this, because it is totally doable, and I know you can do it. Now, I do want to, before we end the stream, I do want to go fix our gecko health, because our player health has 14 and our gecko has 150, which is just a little ridiculous. So here is our player health of 14, and we want to go do yeah, sorry Skytech. So like I'm doing a our stream crashed earlier, so that's why it says only 15 minutes, but I got into a coding boot camp, and I have been doing that this past 3 weeks of pre-work, so I've got homework to do, and I've still been working full-time and stuff, so I'm trying to wrap up tonight so I can go finish some of that homework, and then I'm going to try to stream while I'm doing the boot camp. It is full-time, so it's going to be a lot, but I'm hoping we can continue to stream, even if it's a little bit shorter than normal, but to keep our streak going. Yeah, the learnings. It should be fun. I'm lucky I've got a decent foundation already, so I think I'm in a better spot than basically all my classmates I've been seeing and talking to. So I think I'm gonna be okay. Yeah, let's go find our. How's your game coming along, by the way? Are you? I mean, I know you've been working on yours like 3 years now, right? It's coming up on like the home stretch, yeah? Oh, nice. Hey, that's awesome. That is cool. Is that something everyone can try, or is that like a coded early access code sort of deal? This is where we put in our health for our gecko, and it's 150. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to change it to 3. And our stream crashed again. Mother flipper. I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. But there is our health, and then we've got 3 on our health. So what we want to do is take our, instead of our spellcast damaging by 50, so that 3 hits kills us, it's going to damage by 1. So sorry, I'm rebooting the stream here, trying to get live again. This is really frustrating. I don't know what to freaking try. I don't know what to freaking try, yo. Do I just reset the router? I mean, I'm basically done for the night, so I might just wrap up the recording here and then call it a night. Try one more time. We'll see. Could not access stream key. I don't know what you're saying, man. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah, it says no internet. Alright, says there's internet. Don't know why. I got no ideas. We're able to load Twitch, so we've got internet. It just doesn't want to stream. I mean, maybe there's a thing. Do you have to reset your stream key every once in a while? Like, let me see. I'm gonna go to my streamer dashboard setting here real quick. I'm gonna just try to take my stream key and put it back in OBS here and see if I'm just missing something. I know there is a streaming settings. That I'm not finding. Settings. Stream. Stream key. Okay, let's try this. I don't know if I can do this while I'm recording. Let's see. It's the same stream key. Oh, and you know what? Let me try to authorize. I'm going to try to authorize OBS for Twitch and see if that helps us out. I just hate that this is just constantly happening now. It's just really frustrating. Okay, and I need an authenticator. Sorry, guys. We're working on it. Getting those kinks out. Here we go. Authenticator. Okay, cool. We are connected to Twitch. So let's try it again. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you right, you right. Let's try it here. Oh, actually, that's kind of cool. It pulls up. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, let's try it. Okay. I guess we're on. Oh, yeah? Okay. Dude, well, I don't know if it's a my internet thing or if it's a Twitch thing, because it has been super frustrating the past 2 days. It's just been crapping out on me. And I pay a lot of money for good internet, so it is frustrating. and we crapped out again. And we crapped out. Motherfucker. This is so annoying. Oh, why? Why is it gotta do this to me, man? Why is it gotta do it to me? This is so frustrating. I'm gonna restart OBS. I don't know what else to try.